morning everyone. It is nearly time for our Barre technique class to start. So this is where we're just kind of doing a half-hour workout, and it's a little bit of a focus maybe on one or more of the exercises. So far we've had a little look at how to get yourself into turnout and keeping that turnout when we're doing tendus. We've had a look at pliés and squats, and we've had a little look at the port de bras, which is the carriage of the arms into those lovely different shapes, and how having that elbow higher than your wrist, so rather than being here is going to give you beautifully toned upper arms and shoulders and give you that lovely definition in your upper body. Today we're going to be having a look at how to do a foot release, which is something that you might like to do before or after the class. Now, all you're going to need for that is either a little spiky, can you see that, spiky massage ball, or a tennis ball, and feel free if you want to draw a face on it. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Okay, so my little friend Slaz, he's a Slazenger ball. So we're going to be doing that today. We're going to start off with the release. So that's why I've come on a little bit earlier, in case any of you had already popped on and you want to just go, grab yourself a tennis ball or something similar size, and it needs to be fairly firm but with a little bit of give in it, so not solid. If you're doing this on catch up, you can just go and pause it, go and grab one and come back. So we're going to do this without the music on. I'm going to move over just a touch and bring my light in so that hopefully you can see my feet a little bit better because of the sunshine. So I'm going to start. I'm going to use the spiky ball, but remember, you can use your tennis ball. We're only going to do this fairly quickly. If you want to spend a bit longer on it, you can. You could do it before, you could do it after. You could do it while you sat down watching telly tonight when you finally finished everything that you need to do for today. Great way to unwind before going to bed. So we're going to take that spiky ball or your tennis ball, pop it down onto the floor. Do you know, my son made sushi the other day. He opened the sushi rice. Yeah, you can imagine what happened. It just went everywhere. I have hoovered, I have swept, and still, every now and again, I look down and there's a grain of sushi rice that's appeared from somewhere. Okay, anyway, eventually, it's like glitter in schools, isn't it? You just keep finding it after Christmas for months and months. Right, so, holding on to your sturdy bar. Now, foot release, great to do, but if you have any foot issues or you have diabetes, it might be best to check with whoever's care you are under, whichever medical professional that is, that it's okay for you to do. Now, if you've got a foot injury, it can be really great at rehabilitation. If you've got arthritis, you might want to use a little bit less pressure. Okay, so just being aware of that. Let's take the foot, the arch, onto the ball and just put as much pressure on as you feel comfortable to do. And you're just going to allow your spine to lengthen, take some deep breaths. And notice when you start to feel some changes in sensation in that foot. So I'm just going to rest the hand onto the hip, open the shoulders, standing tall, and then I am going to rub vigorously forwards and back through the sole of the foot. Now you might want it slightly in front of you to make that easier. And if you can keep it under control, you can work from your instep across to the, is it called the outstep? The outside of your foot. I've never heard it called that, but I bet it's got a name. And then working back in again. And then can you start to make it a bit bigger? Can you get all the way from your big toe to your heel? So you might have to slow it down a little bit to keep that under control. And then into the middle, get right to the ends of those toes. And your foot should start to feel nice and warm. So as well as looking at the foot foot release, we're going to be having a look at strengthening the feet today, and then all the way to your little toe. So don't forget to get to the back of the heel and the toe, and then just step on again. Breathe deeply, and then we'll step off. Now we're going to do a little bit more at the end, but let's just get the other foot warmed up. So this is a really nice way to warm up the feet, and you might find that when you do this, your feet are actually a lot more pliable. You can stretch them and bend them much more easily than you could if you just went straight into the class. So again, we stand tall. Always stay tall so you can get those really big full breaths in. Just allowing as much pressure on the ball as you feel comfortable with. And then when you feel ready to, just working in the arch, just vigorously rubbing forwards and back, and you do need to do it really quite quickly. And then if you want to, you can go across instep to the outside of the foot. See, I'm left-footed and this is my right foot, so I haven't got as much control on this side. You'll probably find that too. We all start with our good side, don't we? It's our go-to side because we know it's better. The body just automatically does it for us. Okay, starting to make it a bit bigger. Big toe to heel. Again, fairly quickly. Work through. Into the middle. Try and get to the ends of your toes if you can. All the way through that foot and the heel. Into the little toe, that outside edge of the foot. All the way to the heel. And back. And then stepping onto that ball. And release. Now, you might already find that your feet feel nice and warm and maybe a little bit tingly. So we're going to start facing your bar, so you've got either your sturdy chair, hands on the wall or hands on the kitchen counter, something that you can use just for a little bit of light support. We don't want to be pressing onto it, it's just there for confidence really and a bit of support. We'll start in parallel position, so that's heels under your hip bones, standing up tall, shoulders back and down. We're just going to go into our foot pedals. So we're lifting one heel, and already you might think, crikey, I can get further than I normally would. Maybe you even feel, wow, I'm using my back less if you normally hitch your hip up a bit. So we're just going to work through those foot pedals. I'm going to do one more each foot, and the feet should be nice and warm. So I'm going to put the music on now. We're going to start on the workout properly. There we go. Right, so now we're going to come to feet together. Okay, now part of the foot is the ankle. So we're going to warm up those ankles, get that Achilles tendon nice and stretchy with some parallel plies. We stay shoulders over hips, abdominals drawn in. We're going to bend and stretch, sliding your shoulders down the wall. Okay, so let's bend and stretch, bend and stretch. And you're trying to keep your heels down so that you get a good bend at the ankle and you can feel that stretch down the back of the foot. Now just watch as you're doing this, foot as you straighten up, locking your knees back and arching. Exhale, keep the arms drawing in as you come up. And that should help stop you locking your knees too tight in this position. It's okay when we're in first position, but we don't want to do it here. Now we're going back to our foot pedals, but a little bit quicker. And down, and lift, and down, and lift. And down, and lift, and down. Now we're going to go up, up, down, down, moving. Up, up, down, down. So you're trying to start on the other side each time. So whichever heel goes down last, you lift that one straight back up. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, down. We're staying up. Foot pedals from the top and up. Heel down and lift. Down and lift. Down and lift. So this is really good for your foot strength and your toe mobility. Remember, we're pressing into that second toe to keep our ankles strong. Now let's go a little bit quicker. Push, 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 push. So now we're just lightly touching the heel to the floor and trying to stay up on our toes. So really we're in a rise all the time on this. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to that rise for me now. Let's squeeze those thighs together. Abs in. Can you give me a balance? Just hold it there. Shoulders down. And roll down through the feet. And bring the hands down. So now we're going to turn sideways on. We're going to have a look at those tondus again. So let's work on that wrap. Let's wrap those hips. Squeeze into that turn out. Round the arm. Take it to first. So that's fingertips opposite your tummy button. It's not up here. You're resting your little finger on your tutu. Outside leg, we're going to stretch and in. Now really work that foot. Try and keep the toes on the floor and only lift your heel at the very last moment. Really work the foot. 3, 2, last one. Now we're going out to the side. Open that arm to second. Stretch and close. Stretch and close. So we're working on all those things. We're building up. We've worked on turnout. We've worked on arm positioning. We've got one more and then we're going to the back now. Arabesque arm push and in. Make sure that leg is going behind you. Have you got your heel inside? Are you wrapping that hip? Last one. Now open that arm. Let's come into a port de bras. So we're going to bring the arm down, lift up and open, as in the head. So we just softly follow the fingertips down. Keep pulling up through the legs and the abs. Lift out of those hips. Down, up and open. One more down, up and open. Let's stay here with that lovely slope down to the fingertips for plies, plie and up. Now you're pressing those thighs back, lifting the arches and really squeezing those knees together as you come up. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bend, lift the heels, push up and lower. 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 Let's keep going for 4 more. Up and lower. We've got 3. We've got 2. Now we're going to stay in this last one. You can put your heels back down if you need to. Stay here if you can. We're going to pulse it down. 8, 7, 6. Keep pressing those thighs back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push it up. Let's lower down. Take a nice big stretch over. Big breath in. and bring that arm down. Wonderful. Let's do those on the other side. So we're in our first position. We're going to start on those tendus. Let's round the arm. Take it to first position, opposite your tummy button. Shoulders open and down. Outside leg. Use the floor. Let's push it along and in. Remember, this is foot exercise as well as hips. So you want to try and keep that heel on the floor for as long as you can. And push. We've got one more and then we're going out to the side in second position. Stretch and in. Stretch. Is that elbow lifted? Not lifted, but just higher than your wrist, lower than your shoulder. Keep lifting out of those hips. We've got one more here and then we're going to the back. Arabesque push. So arabesque arm is soft but straight. So it's not stuck out rigid, there's a softness in it. It's not bent. And in. Now, take that arm out, come into your port de bras. So let's bring that arm down, shoulders down. Are we ready to follow that hand? We're coming up, open and down. Up, open and down. Keep pulling up through those legs. Try not to just let them relax and be really passive. Now let's take that arm out to second. Make sure we've got that lovely slope, we're not dropped. Rounded arm, ready for pliés. Press and squeeze. So remember, the more you squeeze those legs together, the more you're going to get those muscles working. Now one more like this, and then let's add in that heel lift. Down, lift the heels, push up and lower. Down, lift the heels, push up and lower. Down, lift the heels, push up and lower. Watch that arm for starting to sag. If you really need to, you can put it onto your hip. Now do all this with control, up and low with control, softly. Now we're going to hold this next one here. We're ready to pulse it down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up. Let's lower those heels and take a stretch over. And recover. Wonderful. Let's roll that shoulder. Now, we're going to repeat some of that, but we're going to have a look at a different leg position. So normally, well, foot position really. So we've been working on first position, which is heels together. Now you'll notice there's a curve inside your foot, so where the ball of your foot is, then there's a curve before it comes out into the heel again. I'd like you to take your outside foot and place the heel into that curve. So your legs are kind of crossed over a little. And you should feel that you can zip up through that inner thigh even more. Okay, shoulders back and down. Let's take that arm to first and come back to our tendus. So we're going to stretch out and close. So you're really pulling in tight, zipping those thighs together. Now we've got one more. We're going to open the arm. You're going to close in front. So now you're pulling it across. A bit more work on that inner thigh. Why not? Now, we need to go to the back. Our foot's at the front. So we're just going to take a tendu out to the side. Now close, so that you've got your front heel now is in the arch of your back foot. Okay, so just kind of swap the feet over from there to there. Are we ready? Let's take the arm up to fifth this time. Pull up through that front leg, stretch to the back, stretch and close, stretch and close. Really snap it in nice and tight. We've got 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Brilliant. Now we're going to have a little look at alternating that. So we're going to close behind, in front, and keep alternating. Let's take that arm through first, out to second. Are we ready? Pull up tall, close into the back first, stretch, close behind, stretch, close in front, behind, in front. So more work in the hip here because we're changing where we're closing that foot. Stretch and close, stretch and close. One more each way. And then just bring that arm down. Give me a little plie. Okay, third. Lovely. Now we're going to do those on the other side. And then we're going to have a look at how we can turn some of that into a curtsy. So let's start by bringing that foot in, closing into third. Everything square. Let's take that arm to first, shoulder down, ready with that outside leg. And we're going to stretch, snap it in. Stretch and in. Stretch and in. That's it. Really work that foot. Stretch and in. Stretch and in. We've got one more to the front. Open out. We're closing to the front still. Really keeping that turn out so feel that you're wrapping that hip all the time. Lift the heel and in. Now, let's take that leg to the back. Tendu, close it behind. Let's take the arm up to fifth, shoulder down. And we're going to stretch it back and close, back and close. Keep lifting out of your hips, abs in. So this should be gently held so that you can still breathe fully and easily, but we're not collapsed down into the hips and nothing switched on. Now are we ready to alternate? We're going to the side, closing behind first. Side, close behind, closing in front, close behind, close in front. Close behind, close in front, close behind, close in front, close behind, and in front. One more of each. And just give me a little plie just to release. Wonderful. Now, with a curtsy is a bit like a plie, but your feet are apart and your legs are crossed over. So if you imagine you've started in third position, leg to the back, extending that leg and crossing it over a little more, and then sending your knees out wide. Okay, so we're going to face the front. We're going to start with a tendu. Let's come into third, outside foot in front, pull up tall. Let's take that arm through first, out to second. We'll take a tendu to the front. Now trace your big toe all the way around, wrap that hip, keep wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. Cross it over slightly, turn a little. You want the ball of your foot on the floor. We're going to press those knees out to the side, press them out and up. That back leg is probably going to want to be lazy and turn in. Press out, make a window with those knees. Press. Now we're going to kick that leg up, bent knee, step it back and curtsy. Pick it up, nice swish. Don't forget to stretch those toes. Swish and curtsy. Push it up and swish and curtsy. Do watch for dipping into the body as you do that. Try and stay really tall. Swish and curtsy. Last two, swish and curtsy. One more, swish and curtsy. Wonderful, let's bring that leg round. Close, take a stretch over. Are we ready to do those on the other side? Let's start with the foot in front. Let's take that foot to the front. Take it round. Cross it over slightly. Ball of the foot onto the floor. And we're pressing out and up. Out and up. We've got 4. Remember that back leg. Press it out. 2. Are we adding in that kick? Kick it up, step it back and curtsy. Push up and curtsy. Now you might want to do this on a breath out and curtsy. Push it up and curtsy. So make sure you're crossing over behind. Cross it over, up and curtsy. 2 more, up and curtsy. Last one, up and curtsy. Now stretch that leg out, bring it round to the front, close it in, give me a big stretch over and recover. Wonderful, so we've recapped on our turnout, port de bras, tendus, pliés, and now we've looked at getting a really good stretch in the foot and our curtsies. So as I promised, I said we'd do a little bit more foot release. So grab that ball again. This time we're going to go in circles. So you're going to press on. And what you're waiting for really is to feel that it sort of starts to tingle, pop, bubble a little bit, change of sensation, and circle it round. So I'm trying not to go in time with the music because that will be too quick. Think of this as a self-foot massage. And then go round the other way. Now if you've got plantar fasciitis, this is lovely, this will feel amazing. But you really do need to work on the strength in your feet and the flexibility of your feet too. Now we're going to turn inwards and roll from the inside of the heel all the way to the big toe. Now we've got our toes on, spread them all out over that ball. Again, press on lightly, take your weight into it. And you might want to have that foot slightly in front of you, up to you, I do. You can keep the weight forwards if you want to, you can reduce the pressure if you need. But you're going to try and get all the way across the ball of the foot and all of those toes. Now let's go round the other way. And then we're going to turn out, so knee goes out to the side, we're going from the little toe to the heel, and back in again. Now I know some of you have done this with me in class before, occasionally, a very long time ago, but it is a really nice one to do after a tough bar class. You can even do this sat down in a firm chair, but if you're doing it sat down, just make sure that your knees aren't higher than your hips, because then you're really going to grip into your hip flexors. Okay, and we don't want to loosen one area and then tighten something else up. Now let's bring it in, step onto it on the heel, so that might be where you can just release that standing leg, swish it across and out, just while your heel is enjoying a nice release. Just stretch that hip, you might even want to take hold of it and pull it up. Now, let's just go for circles in the heel. Try and get the whole of the heel all the way around. Round the other way. And again, if you want to, you can then go nice and quickly all over that foot, warming everything up, leaving it feeling amazing, and step off. Right, just about time to do the other foot. So let's pop that under the arch, just pressing on a little. And then when you start to feel that change in sensation, it might get warm, it might feel like it's kind of bubbling a little bit or tingling. Then you can start to go in your circles all through the arch of the foot. Now there might be some areas that feel particularly tender, or you think, oh my goodness, that feels really good when the ball is there in the foot. And if you want to, go back to those little areas, do some little circles. Yeah, if that's what your foot needs, work on it. Now let's go round the other way. Let's turn that leg in. Big toe to heel. So make sure it's not too far in front of you. You can reach through nice and comfortably as you go forwards and back. And then I'm just going to roll that ball forwards, take the toes on, spread them over the ball, taking the weight forwards a bit, just to release the amount of weight we're putting on that back leg. And then we're going to circle, rolling it round all across the ball of the foot, all across the toes. Try and include every toe, don't miss out your little toe. Give it a bit of love. Right, let's go round the other way. Oh, feels nice, doesn't it? Right, let's turn that leg out. We're going to go from the little toe to the heel. So you're pushing all the way along down that outside edge of the foot. That's it. And then we're going to bring it into the heel, ball of the foot down. This is where you can step onto it if you want, and just bring that other leg up. Take the knee across and out, across and out. So the hips, well, the pelvis is staying still. We're turning in and out from the hip socket. And again, if you want to, if you need a bit more of a stretch, bring that knee in, stand tall, pull it across the body, just get a good hip stretch, and release. Now let's take that ball in circles around the heel. And then around the other way. And again, vigorously, backwards and forwards, work across the foot. Just enjoy it. Yeah. And then gently pressing on, big breath in. And step off. And hopefully your feet feel absolutely wonderful now. Doing this kind of release work, not only great for the muscles, but it's good for your circulation, it's good for your connective tissue, so that magic word, the fascia. It's good for your energy, it's great to help you sleep. It's just a wonderful thing to do for the body, just releasing any tension out and making muscles feel warm and more pliable. So enjoy, let me know what you thought, it'd be lovely to hear some feedback. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.